We have some really incredible things going on in the markets and we need to talk about it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and my father once told me the only thing you can never get more of is time. Well, I think my mom must have done most of the shopping because I went to the baking aisle and guess what I found in the spice section? All right, well, my 10-month-old daughter clearly didn't like that joke. As soon as I told her, she started fussing. I do have to move on. This is going to be a short and sweet video for you, so I'm going to stick only to the most important details that I think that you should be watching. So putting up SPY for you. We are still down below the 50-day, although I'll tell you what, with Google and Microsoft yesterday coming out with their very positive earnings that they had, both of those up in the pre-market hours. Google offering its first ever dividend. That is huge news for us, and we can see that coming back into the markets. We're still down below 50 on the RSI. We're down below the 50-day. Please watch for that. This is the 20-day simple moving average coming down here, crossing over the 50. That could be something that's a bearish signal for us, but given the positive news that we have, the fact that the lower than expected GDP got shaken off a little bit, now mind you, some of that could be offset by what the Fed expects right there, then that's something that that we just need to wait and see what happens right around that 50. If we bounce off of that, if we get rejected from there and head back down this way, we could go lower. If we do cross over it, this market could definitely go higher from here. It's about the same thing from the Qs. Definitely impacted by what we saw from Microsoft and Google earnings yesterday, which Google I thought would be a little bit soft on earnings. And man, I went the wrong way on that one. I gave back some of the 100% gain that I had on the end phase plays, which by the way, had I been able to actively track that one, 4x'd from the time that I bought it from top to bottom. It actually fell just shy of 4x. So that's up over 300% from when I purchased it on Wednesday into Thursday. And that was something that I ended up only getting just a 2x out of it. And I know that seems like a trivial complaint or a small complaint, but it could have doubled yet again. So I would absolutely love to have that opportunity. The summertime's coming. I am a teacher full time, and that's something I can't wait to be able to more actively manage those things so I can take full advantage of those trades as they come along. BTC, just a small update. We're starting to consolidate, really narrowing down on about 65,000. We need to watch and see where that's right around the 50 EMA that we have right here. Watch and see which trend line gets broken. That's going to tell us about the direction for Bitcoin moving forward from here. End phase. Check this out for end phase. We have a long-term trend line going all the way back to 2019, and we're just about the bottom of that. And yesterday, we happened to rip from about 97 to 98 and close back up. This is the weekly chart that we're looking at. Let's go down to the daily chart so that you can see that. So there we go. You can see that long bottom wick telling us that buyers in there. You can see that support from this previously expected double bottom that we ended up breaking down through that. Found a lot of buyer support, bringing us back up to 107. If this can keep on pushing upward, we can still get our golden cross moment out of this. In the pre-market hours, trading up around $110 per share. So be watching those moving averages, crossing up above those, also crossing up above this trend line that you see. That's going to be something that is going to probably pretty volatile and allow us to rip upward and really see some upside appreciation on end phase, especially if the bottom is in now and the next 2 quarters are expected to be possibly the lowest for it. The market's going to price that in ahead of time and be looking for those rate cuts and for the purchasing to come back to solar. So as for the market looking for value, I think solar is one of those places where you can absolutely find it. The question there is timing. That's why I start dollar cost averaging into end phase, and I think that that's going to pay back handsomely over the next 12 months. Tesla, check this out. Daily chart. We are up over the 50 on the RSI. We're down below the 50-day with simple moving average. That is going to be a limitation for us. We need to watch and see to push up above that 176. Now, will we push up above that? Check this out. If we go out to a weekly chart, one thing that we see is an engulfing candle on a technical basis. We're still down below 50 on the RSI for Tesla. So that could be something that still means that we're in bearish territory. Even we're down below the 50 SMA on the daily chart. We could still push back up above this. So weekly bearish and daily still bearish, but the RSI, the momentum is turning around for this. So there could possibly be a bottom. Now let's go out to the monthly chart on this to really stretch out and see. You can see going all the way back to, the pandemic, March of 2020, and then peaking out in November of 2021. That really set the top and bottom for this consolidation pattern that we have, centering right around 165. So for the middle, but look how important this most recent bottom was that we got at about 140-ish. As a matter of fact, the low was 138.80 for Tesla, and how quickly we've gone from there up to about 170 in the pre-market hours, 172. We could possibly see the top of this thing come in right around that 200, 220 mark, depending on how quickly we get there. And so the longer it takes, the more we find that resistance coming down for that trend line resistance for this one. So for Tesla, there's reason to be bullish from here. And I did say from the descending wedge pattern that we have broken out of the top of that and that there could be further upside appreciation. And I said that we could see anything from about the 180 mark up to about 200. And right now we're on the path for that. I don't know if we see a straight shot from that. And it definitely, what we see for PCE today at 830 and what we hear from the Fed can definitely impact it. But it does look like we found a temporary bottom and we have not broken outside of this trend. This one really did set that trend for us, confirmed that this bottom historic trend line that we have is a good trend line to follow. And we want to watch to see if we break out of the top or bottom of this one, because that'll serve to tell us about the direction for Tesla. So even though we're currently in bearish territory, if we continue to see that upside, it could pull us back into bullish territory. And we want to watch and see on that monthly basis, especially, that'd be really setting the longer term trend like we saw back here when we crossed up over 50 and we saw that upside appreciation. Crossing back up over 50 on that monthly basis is going to be enormous for more further upside appreciation for Tesla. So moving over to Nvidia, I have the 50-day SMA and EMA circled here. The blue one is the SMA. We're going to be watchful for that. Need to break back up over it. Again, Google gave them a shout out in their earnings saying that they have started purchasing the Blackwell GPUs, that they are part of Google's infrastructure now as well. And Nvidia also, watch that RSI to cross back up over 50 on the daily chart, because if it does, that can signal a near-term trend. And we're under a month away from Nvidia's earnings, and I still think that we have a shot at that $1,000 mark from where we're at right now. So yesterday, when we were at around 800, I said that's 25% up. Well, we've already covered significant ground. We were about $10 away from that in the pre-market hours from covering 1/4 of the distance up to that 1,000. Now, mind you, it gets harder as you close in on that. But we do need to break up above the 50 SMA and above 50 on the RSI. And just for a quick moment, if we look at the weekly chart, we've never left bullish territory during this sell-off. We have come out of the overbought territory on a weekly basis, down just into bullish territory and increasing. So that is a good thing for us. We could put in a temporary bottom here. We could see that further upside coming in for Nvidia stock. And the last thing I want to leave you with, guys, is SoFi in a consolidation pattern as well. And we can see from that top really setting this trend line more recently for where we're squeezing down on. And we're also squeezing up on the 50-day in here. So let's zoom in a little bit more so that you can see that taking place. And will we break that 50-day? We are right up against it in the pre-market hours. I have a strangle out on this for their earnings on Monday morning. Today is your last day to get in on any trade that you're going to put in. I said yesterday in the Discord, which is part of my Patreon, you can find that link down in the description, that I'm probably going to buy more options on SoFi today. I don't know if I'm going to strangle it more or if I'm going to go on the long side of things or if I want to hedge against the position that I have, because right now we are in bearish territory, although I think that this could be a good round of earnings for SoFi. I think that they've gotten aggressive over the last quarter, and I think that we're going to start seeing the results of that play out in their stock price. I think that they're going to have further upside from here, so we'll see if that support holds. If we break out of the bottom of this, then we could sell off significantly from where they're at. If we break out through the top, that would be something that, even though we've peekabooed out of a couple times, for this trend line anyway, other trend lines we've peekabooed out of that we sold off sharply after that. So hitting this top trend line right around $8.20 per share could be something that quickly sells off on us. Breaking out above it could be very bullish for SoFi. So be on the lookout for which way we go following those earnings Monday morning for SoFi. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I do have to run, so I'm going to wrap this things up for you guys. Check out the links down in the description to help support this channel. You can also hit the like button and the subscribe button. As always, guys, I really do appreciate your time. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.